Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Henry Cejudo believes Jon Jones will become the heavyweight champion in 2023. Here's what Cejudo had to say in a recent video.
But if Jon Jones wants me in his corner, and if I don't have a fight, I'd be more than happy to help him out. I would be more than happy to be there to assist him. And I think Jon knows the brain power that I would bring to his camp.
Yeah, and last question, let's give a final prediction on his 2023. How many times do you think he fights in 2023? And when we look at this a year from now, is Jon Jones going to be the UFC heavyweight champion?
Oh, 100%. I can see Jon Jones fighting maybe a couple times to maybe even a few times, depending on how is it that he does with the competition, or how is it that he dismantles everybody. But Jon's the type of guy that he wants to compete. Jon's the type of guy that he gets high off the crowd. Like he loves that atmosphere. He loves that he may hate the pressure at the time, but he loves the pressure too. It's a love-hate type of thing. Because without fans, I don't think Jon Jones would have fun with it. But with fans and in front of 25,000 people, I think that's what motivates Jon as well. He's a different cat. He's a special cat.
Bryce Mitchell gave a shout out to Justin Gaethje recently on Instagram for a pair of gloves he received.
What's up, Justin Gaethje? I just wanted to thank you for these gloves, brother. I mean, these fit better than any gloves I've ever had, so I want to thank you and Trevor Whitman. Y'all are doing some incredibly fancy stuff. I know you scanned me with a 3D scanner in my hands as well to make sure that these fit good, and I don't know what you did, but I know that it works and that I'm happy about it. And since my last fight, I've had to make some readjustments. It was a hard loss, and I've hired a new striking coach, and so we've been using these gloves here to practice a little bit. Oh. Yeah, see, that's where he bites at me afterwards. It kind of simulates their counter and it makes me pull back. But we've been working new stuff in these gloves, so can't thank you enough. Thanks, brother.
Sean O'Malley and his coach Tim Welch discussed Rose Namajunas getting submitted by Gillan Robertson in 62 seconds. Here's the clip.
Did you watch how easy Gillan Robertson took out Rose?
Yeah, hit her with a nice arm drag and just stayed tight on that hip and just took her down and choked her.
Well, it's like I don't know where really, like, just if you I do jiu-jitsu 2 times a week or 3 times a week, and then you think you're gonna go in there and compete against a person who does jiu-jitsu every day.
Yeah, but you train you're usually training with MMA people when you're doing your jiu-jitsu for the most part, like MMA fighters.
Like Rose.
I guess we don't know her schedule, but she probably trains more with MMA jiu-jitsu people. That's more her practice is probably around that.
Yeah.
Where some people like Gillan, I think, does gi. She does real jiu-jitsu
every day, yeah.
And I guess we're just using those two. I don't know their training, obviously, so maybe we shouldn't even use them. But yeah, training real jiu-jitsu in a gi, or even no gi, but doing real jiu-jitsu is way different than doing MMA jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
So much different.
Yeah, it's a whole different game.
Chael Sonnen gives his take on who's next for Alex Pereira.
Adesanya versus Pereira seems to be the fight to make. And it seems to be the fight that they are expected to make. And we have evidence of that by trying to get Paulo Costa and Robert Whittaker together. Try to take those pieces right off the board. It would seem as though we redo Adesanya and Alex Pereira. I think that you guys would really enjoy that match. But are we a little naive to act as though that's a foregone conclusion? What rematches have we seen in the past that were immediate? Oh, and by the way, were not announced immediately. You have the champion, in this case, Alex. You have the fans, in this case, you. None of us are demanding that fight. None of us are calling for that fight. Now, we don't have another suggestion. We're not saying, I really think that Izzy should do this instead. We're not saying, I think Alex and this guy is the match to make. We're not doing that, which still makes everybody available. And the probable bet, if you were to place one, would be that we rematch that. But are we going to do that for sure? No. If it was for sure, it would already been announced.
Josh from the Weighing In podcast gave us his opinion on what he thought was the UFC's fight of the year.
Yeah, my fight of the year is going to be Yuri and Glover. I don't know if you went with this. I didn't see yours, and maybe
I did not.
You did text it over, but I mean, I went with it, and I think
just a great fight.
You have to look at fight of the years is what they are. They're not the most technical. They're not the best. They're not the best fight.
No, they are the best fight. They're the most fun fight.
The most fun
exactly.
fight. They're not the most technical fight. They're not the most like
never.
Yeah, and so when it comes to this type of fight,
It's the back and forth.
I look at my fight. I look at my fight of the year as being the one that had me on the edge of the seat, going, man, he got out of submission. Oh man, he did this. Oh man, he did that. Oh, or she did this, or he did that, or whatever it was. It has me thinking, man, this is going into the fifth. And it's 2-2, it could be 3-1, but they've been so back and forth. Who knows? That's the way I look at my fight of the years. Is I want to know what fight. I want to see the fight really deliver on all aspects: grappling, wrestling, stand-up, boxing, kickboxing, all of that. I mean, a little griminess too, that dirty boxing against the fence. I want to see all of that. I want to see it. A couple nut shots, a couple breaking of the rules. Because if they're not cheating, man, they're not trying, which means they can do more. And so that's exactly where this was one of those fights that had a little bit of everything.
Francis Ngannou uploaded new footage of himself throwing kicks to social media. Francis is currently recovering from knee surgery, but seems to be close to a full return. Here's the clip. It's fairly obvious that Dana White and Ariel Helwani don't have a great relationship, and in a recent video uploaded to YouTube, Helwani spoke about comments made by Dana back in 2016, which concerned how his kids would see him.
And in the interview with those guys, if you want to call it an interview, they were talking about me crying, and he said something to the effect of like, that I look like a wuss, and your kids are going to see that. Your kids are going to see that one day, and how embarrassed they would be by seeing their father cry, by seeing their father get emotional after he was just, verbally assaulted, after other things happened, after he was told his career was over, after he was told that there was a bullet in his head that he was done. Your kids are going to see that. And I could not believe that he would go to that level, that he would talk about my family. That has stuck with me since 2016. That has always remained with me. That's the kind of person that he is. You don't talk about people's families. You don't talk about people's kids. You don't talk about any of that. That has always stuck with me. What are your kids going to say about that? And I'll be honest with you, when he said it, I thought to myself, what are my kids going to say about this? And I know what my kids are going to say. I know what they're going to say. I know forever that they're going to say that, I stood up for myself and I told the truth and all that stuff. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I have nothing to hide, but I've never forgotten it. And so on this day, I'll raise the same freaking question that he raised about me back in 2016. What are your kids going to say about you? What are your kids going to say about your legacy, about the way you treat fighters, about the way you treat people, about your business practices? What are your kids going to say about that video? What are your kids going to say about the kind of person that you are? What are your kids going to say about you? Ask yourself that question. Here's what I said when we spoke about it on the Monday after the announcement in late November. Are we really talking about
not
this?
only the Dillon Danis
we are,
thing, but he also got a fight.
We are really talking about this.
Dillon Danis, first of all, I'm setting the line at minus 9,000. Fight doesn't happen. Dillon Danis versus KSI.
I think
I don't think that it does happen.
That seems fair. I'll say that.
This feels like a total farce of a fight. I don't even know why. KSI is actually a very popular guy. I don't even know why he's entertaining this. KSI versus 4 random dudes who come.
He's done two already.
Yeah, no, I'm saying 4 who, deliver my Uber Eats would do better and be more interesting than this. Better chance of him showing up. Better chance of Sally down the block showing up rather than Dillon Danis. Better chance of the guy who delivered my Uber Eats of showing up than Dillon Danis. I told you all. And after that interview, and the guys could attest to this, I was down. I felt dirty. I felt legit dirty. I felt like I had wasted your time. I felt like I had wasted my time. I sat in front of a man with fake teeth who was constantly lying, making up. And then he went on other shows and lied and lied and lied and lied and actually thought, my friends, that he got the better of me in that interview and actually thought that we were back in each other's good graces and actually sent me multiple DMs after the show, after the interview, to be like, yo, bro, that was good, right? You know what I did every time I saw him pop up? delete, delete. And then he would delete, and then I would just delete the conversation. And then he reached out to friends, and he's like, is Ariel mad? Is Ariel mad? Again, you lie in front of me or behind my back or on other shows, and I have zero respect for you. Zero.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.